Waterways in Dare County have been important since Dare County's been here. It's been critical to the way of life way back and even up to the day. Fishing, boat building, food processing, recreational fishing, all that stuff is critical to what Dare County is. It's our backbone. It's what you think of when you come here, and it's important.
Our fishermen, our commercial fishermen, need a highway, and that's their highway to go to work and to provide a living for their family. That is a lot of our history in Dare County, and we need to have an open highway on a regular basis so that our people can go to work. So it's critical, and it brings a lot of tax revenue to not only the state, but certainly to the county. So that's of vital importance to keeping these inlets open.
The economic impact of Dare County and the region is large. There are over 3,000 jobs directly or indirectly associated with our waterways. According to a Moffitt-Nichols study, there's over $400 million in economic benefits to the region. There's multiple industries, our boat building industry, our fishing industry, our seafood processing industry, tournament fishing, recreational fishing, charter fishing. All of those things are all related to accessible waterways that are critical to keep that economy rolling.
Here on Hatteras Island, we're passionate about our fishing. It's intertwined with our heritage. People plan to come here year after year. When that inlet continues to be stabilized and we have 2 working inlets with a minimal amount of problems, the sky's the limit here with the future in Dare County.
The Dare County Board of Commissioners have been proactive in protecting our fishermen and their access to the waters they fish. Recently, the North Carolina Marine Fisheries proposed new rules on shrimp trawling in North Carolina's inland coastal waters. The rules would designate much of North Carolina's inland coastal waterways, sounds, and estuaries as special secondary nurseries, significantly limiting how much shrimpers could trawl in those areas. The Dare County Board of Commissioners opposed the petition with a resolution passed unanimously by the board.
In doing that, it also applies to how the area can be managed. And under special secondary nurseries, they can also say that the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the sounds cannot be affected, which can also eliminate dredging in certain areas. Although we're in a constant battle to keep our waterways open as it is, now we'll be putting another barrier in place that we could actually hamper us even further.
In North Carolina, we have a dredging fund that was set up by the legislature a few years ago. While we know all about Oregon Inlet and Hatteras Inlet, there are inlets all up and down our coast, and all of those inlets have similar problems with shoaling and the ability to get their boats out, their fishermen, their fleets, whatever that goes out in their various inlets. In order to fund that, it's a significant expense. The state set up an inlet management fund. Governments, all local governments in Dare County can use that money on a matching fund basis. It's one of 2 ways. It's a 1/3, 2/3, or a 1/4, 3/4 match depending on the tier of the economy. In Dare, since we're a tier 2, it's a 1/3, 2/3 match. If you were down in Hyde doing a project, it would be a 1/4, 3/4 match. Where we're working now is in Hyde. We put in 1/4 of the funds and the state will pay the other 3/4 of the cost to keep that inlet open. At Oregon Inlet, we put in 1/3 of the funds and the state will pay the other 2/3 to keep that inlet going. We have over $2 million set aside to go into that inlet. That makes $6 million of local and state funds available to keep that inlet open. So far, that process that we're doing, the proactive dredging that's being done down there with those funds has been very successful. The inlet's probably in the best shape it's been in, and the people that use the inlet can get in and out. Down in Hatteras Inlet, the problems there are more recent, but we've got money set aside for that. There's probably going to be $1 million in dredging spent this year down there to try to keep that inlet open as well for the same reasons as up here. We have a charter fleet of fishermen community. The watermen down there need access to the ocean. And so Dare County's investing significant monies in that as well. I think we have $250,000 in our budget, so when you multiply that by 4, that makes $1 million available to support that inlet.
We've been working very, very closely with the state and going to Raleigh and trying to keep this to the forefront of our legislators, because this certainly is one of the top priorities for our Dare County Board of Commissioners. Every member on our board is very, very proactive fishing and keeping our inlets and waterways open, and it's critical for us.